What's up, guys? So I want to jump on and talk about some things that I don't talk about a lot, that I should, but I don't. The kind of stuff that I'm into, I do a lot of studying, I do a lot of research, I do a lot of studying. Yeah, that's how I spend my time, and what I do. And I don't necessarily pick certain topics for specifics. I just kind of get into what I'm into. And I write notes and things like that. I did at one point in time write notes, but I had my notes stolen about 5 times. Just my notepad stolen. So didn't think anything of it because, who am I? I'm just brainstorming and being a nerd. But it was funny because I was watching Joe Rogan a month ago or so, I think. And I came across this video, and this guy's talking, and he said something very peculiar about something. And, like I said, I've heard a lot of things about people, and, what I'm studying isn't taboo for the most part for a lot of intellects and people who are interested in the same things. But I guess, some people have different perspectives, and some people are hitting on things that other people aren't. And I got just a real nice vision of one of the very fundamentals of why people are targeted and they get isolated out. And a lot of times it's due to something that you're doing that you don't even know you're doing. Because just like, it's a free country. You can study whatever you want to study. You can be into whatever you want to be into. But I just began studying about frequency, vibration, things like that, and I won't go any deeper into it. But I'd written a lot of notes about it, and I remember this one time I was still in the Midwest. And I was studying something, and when I'm studying, it's just one thing leads to another, and then another, and another, and it's just kind of like a straight line, maybe a zigzag or whatever of information. And I guess it's right because I'm being monitored, so they see what I see, and they're picking up on what I'm picking up on. And I could see this guy who was watching me. I was in Panera Bread, and he was watching me, and he got so scared. I was just sitting there salivating, and it was just all connecting. I was having a Goodwill Hunting moment. And he was just, I finally looked up and looked over at him, and he was just scared. He was just like in a frozen spot, like, oh shit, is she gonna get this? And that was the moment that I started kind of picking up on. Maybe it's got something to do with this as well. So I want to show you a video real quick that really kind of confirmed a lot of what I'm saying right now. Again, like I said, I began researching and doing some studying about vibration and frequency and those things maybe, I would say, about a year ago. And, due to all the warfare that I deal with, I don't get a chance to really focus and hunker down the way that I'd like to. But I'd written some notes up on it, and I talked to a few people about it, and I wasn't broadcasting it really. But pay attention to what this guy is saying, and then I'll give you a little bit more details about it.
The concept, because it's vibrating. Everything vibrates at a frequency, and if you know that frequency, you can control things. And I think that's the basic idea of what we're looking at here. And it's all based upon the ancient numbers. And they're developing technologies right now, and they have been. I was recently contacted and given the go-ahead that I could talk. I've been sitting on this for 7 years without talking about it because they asked me not to talk about it until they had to.
He's been sitting on it for 7 years. They asked him not to talk about it, so they don't want people to know about it. So he's been sitting on it for 7 years, and he got contacted so that he can go ahead and talk about it.
patents in place and their licensing. That's all happened since last summer.
Now, this man's name, the one that was talking about this, is Randall Carlson. And I just decided I wanted to check out, who is Randall Carlson. So I put his name in, and this is what comes up. Freemasonry and Sacred Geometry, Randall Carlson. Freemasonry and Sacred Geometry with brother Randall Carlson. So he's a Freemason. And look at where he's at. Phoenix, Freemasons Lodge, number 131. I've had 2 notebooks stolen out here in Phoenix. And the last one that was stolen had a lot of, very new, innovative things that I had come up with about these subjects. Like I said, wasn't doing it for any high reasons, and I typically don't talk about it with anybody. It's really, really rare that I talk about it to anybody. Not because I didn't know that I couldn't, but, just because, who really talks about some of the things that I, get into when it comes to this stuff, geometry and understanding sacred geometry and these things, they're very imperative. I'll say that. But you don't have very many people getting into that. But what are the odds? What are the odds? And as you said, he wasn't supposed to talk about it. Nobody was supposed to be letting this information go, and nobody was supposed to be letting it out. He had to get the word to talk about it. Sounds like somebody's kind of pissed about me even knowing this little indigenous, quote-unquote, black woman. Yeah. A lot more going on than you think.